Hello, everyone. Welcome to session one of our Micro MBA from University of Chester. My name is Alex Fenton, and I'm joined by my two excellent co-hosts. Gozde, could you introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you so much, Alex. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening. It depends wherever you are in the world. My name is Gozde Turktarhan, and I am so happy to be here today with you to have the first session of our Micro MBA program with my amazing colleagues, Alex and Trevor.
Good morning, everyone. And again, depends on where you are in the part of the world. Good morning. And I want to say to you today that you're all welcome, very welcome to our Micro MBA program, which we're organizing here. My name is Trevor Omoruyi, and I'm the MBA program director. I'm looking forward to having an exciting time with you all through the 8 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. That's brilliant. So I can see some people have joined us live, which is fantastic. We'll try and feature some of your comments and questions in the shows we note in the ticker there. But before we press on as well, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us what country you're joining from, because we've had around 370 people register so far from all over the world. So it'd be wonderful to hear what country you're coming from. So we can see Kingsley's is really delighted to be here as well. Thank you for that, Kingsley. Welcome. And it'd be great to hear a bit more from you about what countries you're joining from. So Morala's joining from India. We've got Zishan's joining us live from Pakistan. Kingsley's joining us from Nigeria. So we've got loads of people joining us now from all over the world, including from Britain as well, where we're based at the moment in the Northwest. And we've got people join us from all over. So let's get into it. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to finding out more about the Micro MBA. So we're going to go through all the different details today and tell you about the different sessions and introduce ourselves a little bit more as well as you as well. So thank you, everybody, for your comments so far. So we're going to talk about the Micro MBA from the start. So just to start off, just a quick introduction to myself. I'm the Associate Dean for International at the University of Chester, but I'm also Associate Professor in Digital Transformation, and I'm going to be hosting a session on that as well. I also work quite a lot with my colleagues as well. So, Trevor, could you say a little bit more about your role at the University of Chester?
All right, yeah, at University of Chester, I'm a senior lecturer, and at the same time, I'm the MBA director at Chester Business School. Yeah, and I've been here for a while, and I'm enjoying it here. Thank you.
Wonderful, thanks, Trevor. And Gozde, a little bit more about your role.
Sure. So I am a lecturer at the Chester Business School, University of Chester. I joined my colleagues almost 2 years ago. I am also leading a new master program, International Fashion and Retail Marketing. I'm the program leader of this new MSc program. And I am mostly teaching marketing and tourism events related modules.
Fantastic, thank you, Gozde. And we're all super proud, aren't we? We work for the Faculty of Science, Business and Enterprise at the University of Chester, and obviously for you two guys, you're working for the business school. It's had an amazing success in recent years, including winning Educate North Business School of the Year, currently shortlisted for the Times Higher Awards in the Business School of the Year category again, which is like the Oscars of universities. And then, Trevor, we've had great success in the What Uni Awards as well, haven't we? Particularly in some of the categories that are close to our heart. Could you tell us a little bit about those ones?
Yes, absolutely. Particularly when it comes to international study. We've won lots of awards. Our International Student Barometer, for example, you see high scores, high ratings about our programs, about our university, about our business school. And this is something that was really dear to our heart. Here at University of Chester is all about the community. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. as far as we're concerned, we want to make sure that you feel at home here and you enjoy, you have a good student experience here and beyond. And that's what we're looking forward to. And you can see that that's clearly evident in all of the awards, the recognitions that we've been getting, and most especially the positive word of mouth recommendations from our students. And that matters to me a lot.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Trevor. It's great to see the passion of colleagues as well. And, you know, I think that really does come across, doesn't it, in some of these recognitions and things as well. But before, without further ado, let's get into the Micro MBA. So this is a taster program. So it's going to be 8 sessions like this one, recorded, live streamed onto Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn as well. And thank you everyone for joining us live for this one this morning. And it's free to register. And you can join that, register and find out more information on Chester AC UK /study/Micro MBA. Or if you Google Chester's Micro MBA, you'll find that one as well. So the 8 one-hour sessions are going to be live and recorded. They're going to be between October and January with our experts, and then live discussion and Q&A. And generally, we'll start off a bit like this. We'll start off with a bit of the actual content of the session, try and keep that kind of short and sweet, and then create more of a discussion between us and between you as well. And then eventually we'll be able to give you access to all the sessions on our learning management system, including final quizzes and a certificate. Trevor, could you tell us a bit more about the quizzes and the certificate?
Yes, in terms of the quiz and certificate, we're going to have 2 quizzes. And we're going to have one after the 4th week, and we're going to have one at the end of the program. So what is expected from you is, as soon as you've registered, just get on, complete those quizzes. It's going to be a quiz covering everything we would have covered in the last 4 weeks, in the next 4 weeks, and then get that done. Then you have another one at the end of the 8th week. Then as soon as you get that completed, you'll be able to access the certificate. And the certificate, you're going to ask me, why is it important? Again, it shows that you've participated as part of the Micro MBA. You can use this to, apart from the knowledge you've gained, you can also use it as part of a CPD, sort of like, it depends on where you're working already. You can actually put it as part of trainings you've completed, and it's very useful in terms of those of you already working with professionals as part of a CPD you've completed, because it's going to be covering a lot of subject area.
Great stuff. Thanks, Trevor. We're getting a couple of questions about studying Chester. As a note in the ticker there, if you try and direct those questions to international@chester.ac.uk, we will try and pick up a couple of questions on Facebook where we can. But the questions, in terms of the questions featured in the show, try and keep those to the topic about the Micro MBA. That'd be useful. Gozde, could you tell us a little bit more about what the rationale was for this Micro MBA? Because people will be asking themselves whether this program is for them or not.
Sure, Alex. So actually, this program is for everyone, for the people who would like to learn more about MBA content, which means management, finance, organization, sustainability, operations, business and strategy, because we designed this program, this Micro MBA program, for everyone who has keen minds from around the world, who are interested in, as I've mentioned, business, strategy, marketing, sustainability, finance, digital transformation, which is one of the very important topics of the future and today. So these are basically the modules that we are covering in our MBA program. Trevor can mention about this more soon, but so long story short, we designed this program for keen minds from all around the world who would like to learn more about these topics like business, sustainability, finance, operations. But if you are planning to study at the University of Chester, so it will be particularly useful for you if you are considering studying at the University of Chester or other similar institutions, because it's going to give you an idea about the modules of our MBA program. So yes, this Micro MBA is for you. You can also, as my colleagues mentioned, you can also receive a certificate once you complete once you watch the recorded videos and complete the quiz. So if you want to learn more about MBA content, if you want to enrich your CV, this Micro MBA program is for you. And you can always find out more about while you are listening our content and meeting new people to expand your network.
It's well said, Gozde. You forget about that sometimes, that, you know, it's not just about the content, but the people, isn't it? You know, getting to know us and some of our staff, and obviously the other participants as well. So we hope that will create a nice little network there for people to get to know the people as well. It's a really good point. Yeah, the certificate as well. You can see an example of that on the screen. Once we'll get everybody registered onto the learning system that's registered. We hope by the end of this week. It's not necessary to access it right now because people have joined the live stream and can access the recordings. But that learning system, you can see on the screen there. Once you register, we'll transfer and give you access to that and give you a username and password. You might just have to check your spam email just in case it's gone there by accident. But the recordings of these sessions will appear a few days after the session. But as I say, you don't have to access the learning system to access the live streams or the recordings. You can access those through Facebook, through YouTube, through LinkedIn as well. But we will place the recordings on the learning system, and of course, the learning system will be useful to complete the quizzes and ultimately to get a certificate. And the certificate will be automatically generated. You can print that out, as Trevor said. You can use for your CV or CPD, etc. If there is the demand in the future as well, we can look at doing like a kind of paid for printed certificate. But we wanted to try and keep everything free and accessible. So, access to the sessions, the learning system, the certificate is all free. As we said as well, please do spread the word about the Micro MBA. If you've got friends or family that you think might be interested, please do send the link to them. Say you can register just through the website as well. So in terms of learning outcomes, we've got these ones on the screen, which are also on the website and on the learning system. So I'm not going to read through all those. We've just got 7 of these learning outcomes, one for each of the sessions that you'll see starting with the next one. But in University of Chester and a lot of universities like ours, we do start off with these learning outcomes. We want to find out what are we planning to learn in the first place, and then through each of the sessions, we'll try and make sure that we've added that learning. Now, the Micro MBA, these are taster sessions that are only quite short, but we've still got learning outcomes for these, and we hope that you will learn something, that you will feed back to us, and we'll learn from each other as well. So that's kind of how we do things. And then in terms of the sessions, over to you, Gozde.
Thank you, Alex. So we will have, including this one, we will have 8 sessions within Micro MBA program. So today we are having the first one. This is introduction and welcome. So each session is going to focus on different topics such as strategy, leadership and organizational culture, sustainability, finance, operations, marketing, and digital transformation. And all of them are going to be delivered by the experts. Some of the speakers are going to be they are already our staff member within our university, within our business school, or some of them is our business partners, industry partners. The next session is going to be on 8th of November by Professor Kurt Allman. The topic is going to be about strategy. And as you see on the screen, we're going to have 6 more sessions. So we mention all the dates and the times of the sessions, as you see. However, if you miss them, don't worry, you can watch the recordings later. However, if you want to watch live, if you want to join live, just like you're doing today with us, so please remember that the times that we mentioned are based according to UK time, United Kingdom time. So, for example, next session is going to be 8th of November by Professor Kurt Allman at noon 12 p.m., but it's UK time 12 p.m. So based on your country, based on where you live or where you will be, you need to convert the time. You can just basically Google it to find the correct time in your country, or you can just, as you see, we have a QR code on the right part of the screen. You can just scan it, or you can go to timeanddate.com to convert the times of our sessions to your time in where you live or where you will be during the sessions. So your next one is going to be Professor Kurt Almond, and then we will talk about each of the sessions. But yeah, I believe that's all for this slide.
Thank you, Gozde. The dates and times on the screen, I mean, it's possible that a couple of these may change. We will try and give people as much notice as we can if the session changes. And as you quite rightly say, the sessions will be recorded if people can't attend as well. But we will, keep an update of the dates and times in case any of those sessions do change for any reason. Okay, over to you, Trevor, to talk us through what session 2 is going to be about.
Yes, session 2, I think those of you who are already familiar with MBA program, you know that there's no MBA program without the subject strategy. Okay, and just like in every business, strategy is important. You have to have a strategic direction. All right, so as a result of that, we've actually developed a very good taster session around strategy, which is going to be delivered by our own very Professor Kurt Almond, who's the Pro Vice Chancellor of this faculty of science, business and enterprise. So Kurt is very experienced in terms of industry experience. He's got it. He's worked in different countries, different sectors, and now he's an academic and he's been a dean. So the experience he's bringing in also as a researcher is going to be a very rich one. So this is something I'll tell you, you don't want to miss, all right? So he's going to come there on that day to deliver for us all that has to do with strategy. You know, you're going to have the sort of taster session around strategy. It's going to cover things around the importance of strategy. Okay, why do organizations, why do they need strategy in place to be able to succeed? So Kurt is going to be covering all of that. It's going to be talking about the dynamics of businesses, organizations, even sector, whilst looking at the competitive global marketplace. Today, if you look at the global marketplace, it's quite intense. The competition is very intense. So you need to be very strategic in all you're doing. So we're going to be looking at all of these on that day in terms of from a taster session point of view. So Kurt is going to be delivering on that. Kurt is also going to be emphasizing in terms of how strategy is the backbone of every business. And I know it will be interesting to see what the marketing guys will be telling you when it gets to their turn to say, no, marketing is the backbone. So we're going to see how Kurt is going to emphasize that for us to say, oh, all right, without strategic direction, there is nothing you can do, particularly from a long-term or a short-term strategy point of view. It's going to be telling us about strategic planning in terms of things around business model development. You know, when to do this, when to do that. So all of that, we're all going to be aware of that by attending this session and participating in this session. Also, several e-models that will be needed in terms of real-world scenarios. So it's going to be making examples using real-world case studies as key examples for you. So references will be made to that. So it's important that you attend. And for me, if you ask me, I know that is the opportunity for you to go back and watch recordings. If you actually cannot attend the session, fair enough. But if you can, it's always good to attend the session live. And the reason for that, it just gives you that opportunity for you to be able to at least leave a question on the chat, you know, just to say, all right, I know this is interesting. And what about this? You know, just see it as an opportunity for you to engage with Professor Kurt Almond. And again, if you end up coming here to study, Kurt is someone you're going to be seeing. Kurt is someone you're going to be meeting in our classrooms, on the hallway, within the Chester University of Chester community. So again, it's going to be an interesting session, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there.
Brilliant, Trevor. Well said. I think as well as Dean of our faculties, Kurt is Professor of Entrepreneurship, but he does do masterclasses on our MBA. I've seen some of those, and they're really popular and really interesting. So it's great that we've got Kurt on this program. Obviously, these talks are quite short, quite tasters, but there will be plenty of opportunities to discuss some of the content that's in there as well, which I think is a great opportunity, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity.
Okay. So then session 3, Gozde, is on leadership and organizational culture. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Of course. This is going to be the third session by Kirsty Simpson. She is our Dean and Associate Professor at the University of Chester Business School. She is also President of the European Observations of Sport and Employment. Very experienced researcher, very experienced academic. So in her session is going to focus on leadership and organizational culture, which is another important topic within any MBA programs. So in this session, Kirsty will explore how to understand organizations in much the same way we analyze individuals. By identifying their key strengths, areas for improvement, and driving effective change. Just like in our daily life, we're trying to know more and understand our individuals around us. So in the same way, Kirsty help us to explore how to understand organizations in the same way. So different organizations navigate change and transition in distinct ways, often balancing both internal and external considerations. So as I've mentioned, she is very experienced academic, very experienced researcher. So she is going to bring, in her session, she's going to bring the theory and her industry experience. And by combining them, she will introduce the Bridges framework. Bridges framework applies the principles of the Myers-Briggs personality test. It's a type of personality test, and she will apply this to assess and enhance an organization's overall character. So we will learn in her session, we will learn how to learn more about an organization, how to learn more about organization's character by using personality tests, just like we are doing for individuals. So this is an important approach. This is an important theory. Why it's important? Because by focusing this approach, we can address resistance, identify barriers, and capitalize on new opportunities for growth for any type of organization, any type of business. So that's why her session is going to provide us very informative and insightful content.
Really looking forward to this one, Gozde. It's a fascinating piece of research. If you think, we have personality tests, but the idea of kind of organizational character, and obviously that's part of Kirsty's research as well. So I'm really looking forward to hearing a bit more about that one. Session 4 is around organizational sustainability. Now, of course, this is such a key topic now, I think, and so important these days for study. And certainly University of Chester, we are really passionate about sustainability and so forth as well. But we're really lucky to have Professor Juliana Powell-Turner, who's apart from being a professor, renowned professor within these areas, she's also the Associate Dean Research and Innovation within our Faculty of Science, Business and Enterprise, and also the Director of CREST, which you'll be finding out a little bit more about, a really good practical application of these technologies and around sustainability as well. So we're really looking forward to this one. So Juliana's going to be doing a short taster session on exploring sustainability and how organizations balance growth with environmental and social responsibility, and whilst remaining competitive. So she's going to be doing that through industry examples, illustrating how organizations are integrating sustainability into those day-to-day operations and transforming some of the challenges into opportunities. I think it's key, really, because in the end, the profitability is kind of quite often key in order to maintain the organization. So if we can be looking at benefiting the environment and positive social change as well, and including things like the UN Sustainable Development Goals to turn those challenges into opportunities. I think that's some really good knowledge to be adding. So I'm looking forward to that session as well. You'll note as well that all the speakers there, we've included their LinkedIn profiles as well, so you should be able to connect with them. Coming back to Gozde's point there about the kind of network that we're creating around it as well. Session 5 is over to you, Trevor.
Yes, so session 5 is going to be covering finance. So you would have noticed from some of the subject areas we've highlighted already, strategy, leadership, sustainability, now finance. If you look at every organization or every business, you tend to have several units. Definitely, you're going to definitely have a finance unit in terms of where money decisions, financial decisions, funding, all of that. So no matter how big a business is, someone definitely needs to be able to look after the finance side of things. And Micro MBA, just like, MBA prepare you to become managers, supervisors, leaders, to support you to be able to achieve that. So here we're going to be providing you that taster session that will help you in terms of understanding finance. So you're not coming here to start doing loads of, I know when people hear the word finance, they just think about mathematics and all of that. So not too many calculations. It's about how do you interpret? How do you interpret? First, you're going to be able to explore the financial industry. You're going to be covering key topics around global financial markets, investment strategies, risk management, trends that are emerging within the fintech sector. So we're going to be looking at all of these. Okay. And in this, for example, in the UK this morning, there was a financial news, which is definitely going to have a domino effect on a lot of things. And that was the inflation figure. Okay, so the inflation figure in the UK this morning was announced to be less than 2%, which is the target of the Bank of England. So what sort of domino effect would that have on other aspects of life? People who are house owners, who've got mortgage, consumers, they're already thinking, okay, how would that affect the price of what I'm consuming? How would that affect the price of my mortgage? So you could see the importance of finance also cannot be overemphasized. So but here we're going to be looking at it within an organization. Okay, what are the economic approaches, particularly when a turbulent global financial ecosystem? How do we deal with that? So practical advice on how you can navigate international finance. What's the difference when it comes to finance and the approach to finance in different regions, different countries? Some of them could be even religion related, cultural related. So David is going to come in on that day, Professor David Akwe, who's our associate professor and head of division here at the University of Chester. He's also in the business school. So he's going to be coming to tell us about finance. He's quite experienced. He's an accountant, qualified accountant as well. And he's been teaching all of these across several universities. He consults as well. So him bringing all of this experience to our taster session is indeed going to add value to it. And also, I'm sure when it comes to networking, David is done really well in terms of bringing businesses, from Barclays Bank, different businesses into the university. And I'm sure some of the experiences he's had with them, some of the information, I'm sure he's going to be able to share that with you on that day. So please, by all means, do not miss this session. And just to let you know, you would have covered before David's session, then you would have already done the first quiz. So between the last session, session 4 and session 5, that is when you're going to do your first quiz. So please, I'll tell you, think about strategy, think about organizational leadership, think about sustainability, and then get a quiz out of the way. Then you're covering finance and the others. All right. So again, if you can, try and attend live instead of watching the recorded session. But if you cannot attend live, by all means, that's not the end of the world. Go back to the recorded session, and there's nothing stopping you. If you can definitely you can access their email. You can just write simple email to them and say, all right, I've watched this session and I think I've got this question or that question. Can you throw more light, or can you help me signpost me to resources that will further enhance my knowledge? This is not for finance only, but for all of the sessions you're going to be attending. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Trevor. That's a really good point, isn't it? I think it's, really, these are taster sessions. It's about creating a discussion, isn't it? So really looking forward to starting that discussion live, or as you say, offline as well. Session 6, Gozde.
So session 6 is going to be about operations by Kerry Pimblett. So as we mentioned, within a Micro MBA program, some of our lecturers, some of our speakers they're from industry. So Kerry is one of our industry partners. She is an expert on supply chain. So her session is going to focus on organizations and operations. So in her session, Kerry will provide a unique combination of practical insights and strategic approaches. And her aim, the aim of the session is going to be optimizing operations and building high performance learning organizations. So if you are interested in MBA programs, so you may know we have a term says that learning organizations. So an organization, any type of business, once they have more experience, they're going to be learning organizations. So in her session, Kerry will focus on by using practical insight and strategic approach, how to build high performance learning organizations. We will also, in her session, we will also explore some key challenges in supply chain, and we will also discover innovative solutions, how to solve them, how to address these challenges. Additionally, we will also examine how digital tools and training platforms can enhance efficiency and promote continuous improvement in organizations. So that's why her session is one of the, as other sessions, one of the important sessions as well. So she is going to bring her industry experience to her session. As Trevor mentioned, attending live is important, as you will have the opportunity to ask your questions live during the session directly to the presenter, to the lecturer, or to the speaker. However, if you don't have time, if you miss, don't worry. This is not the end of the world. You can always email them. You can always message them on their LinkedIn profile. They will be so happy to provide more feedback, to provide more information regarding your questions, regarding the content of the session. Thank you so much, Alex.
Well said, Gozde. So, like you say, Kerry's a really experienced professional within supply chain operations and one of our industry partners, but she's also one of our professional doctorate students. So we've got some of these experienced professionals working on research within these areas, and some of that research will obviously bring to bear. But I really like Kerry's approach here, thinking about the value and importance of kind of learning within organizations and obviously applying that into operations. So I think that's going to be a fascinating session. Session 7, Trevor.
Oh, session 7, that's marketing. Okay. And you can see the big smile on my face when I say the word marketing, because that happens to be an area that is quite keen to my subject. You know, my PhD is around marketing, so which makes it really exciting. But the difference here is the person delivering it is going to be Professor Morven. And Morven is a professor of sustainability and marketing ethics here at the University of Chester. I've worked with Morven across different universities. We're colleagues in a different university before we came to University of Chester. And also, when it comes to research, she's a very renowned researcher. And I'll tell you this, she's going to be coming in with lots of innovative ideas, particularly from an ethics side of things, okay? We know marketing. When we hear the word marketing these days, everyone is about, marketers. Is it very ethical? Morven is going to be coming on that day to tell us about the ethical side of things, okay, when it comes to marketing. And that is what we teach here. In our MBA, for example, we have a module that is dedicated to ethics. So ethics matters so much to us here at the University of Chester and across all programs. So we're very keen on that. And so she's going to be coming to talk about marketing. And as part of our session, our taster session, she's going to tell us explore the relevance and breadth of marketing as a discipline. And again, why is marketing fundamental to the success of any organization? She's going to be telling us that. She's also going to be highlighting some of the relevant key marketing theories in terms of the models, the frameworks around marketing, which organizations need to be aware of, particularly from an MBA side of things. And while she's looking at all of this, I'm sure she's not going to fail to talk about the ethical side of things. So look out for that in that session. Again, she's going to be talking about practical insights into how to apply some of these theories and models in real world context. Because for us here at the University of Chester, it's about applying theory to practice, because theories on their own doesn't mean anything. So here at the University of Chester, we're very keen about how do you apply this to practice? How does it make sense? How can people make meaning of it? How does it bring about a different outcome? So that she's going to be looking at. Also, she's going to be talking about research methodologies as a marketing tool. How can you use, for example, a research method? I'll try not to talk too much so I don't go into a session as much. But again, research methodologies as a marketing tool to be able to create valuable marketplace insights. So here for us is going to be about creating value, okay? Creating value across all the sessions. And I always tell students and I always tell people I interact with, even if they are executives in front of them for training, I tell them every session you get more from every session when it's what co-created. Okay, so by co-created, what I mean is I don't want you guys coming. Yes, some of us might not have questions. Some of us might be happy to just listen, but I'll tell you, make it an exciting session. All right, so come in there, say, I want to come and co-create knowledge. I want to come and co-create marketing with Professor Morven. I want to come and co-create strategy with Professor Cott. I want to, see it from that point of view. It's not just, I just want a certificate at the end. I want to be able to gain new knowledge, new insights, networking, and at the same time be able to co-create knowledge. Let me see, what does it really look like? What will a postgraduate program really look like, an MBA program look like? So that is what we want you to experience here. And I'm sure Morven will be ready to deliver value to you in that light. Thank you very much.
Well said, Trevor. I think that the idea of ethics and sustainability and so forth will flow through these sessions. I mean, Chester's really strong on teaching and it's strong on knowledge exchange. So, the research, the projects we're doing, working quite closely with businesses. So recently we've released a digital marketing book working with, researchers, academics, but also industry. So as you say, it's about that idea of being able to put theory into practice and developing these methodologies that are actually going to work in the real world. So I'm looking forward to that one. The final session, last but not least, is from myself. So it's going to be on digital transformation. So this is going to be about building organizations that are people focused and data driven. So again, coming back to that message of kind of being ethical, but utilizing some of that data. I want to sort of briefly explore the impact of some of these cutting edge technologies like artificial intelligence, for example, and see how that can be applied in real world business scenarios. There's a lot of our students and organizations they work with now asking questions about these things. And certainly we're not going to answer everything in 1 hour, but we should be able to start an interesting debate about this. We ran another session recently with some experts on this topic. So it's something that's close to our heart around applying new technologies and data as well in a sort of ethical way, sustainable sort of way. We're going to be talking about digital maturity and the development of data-driven strategies within organizations that understand and prioritize people. In the end, people are at the heart of all these things. There's some interesting debates around, the role of technology. What will technology do? What will people do? But in the end, those people are at the heart of that organization. And hopefully that's going to seed a few ideas to allow you to start to think about and embarking on that transformative journey towards digital excellence. So that's going to be my session. I'm looking forward to delivering that one as well. So that brings us to the end of that introductory bit. So I suppose it just remains for me to firstly ask my co-hosts if they've got anything to add to that. and also to ask the audience if you've got any questions or thoughts, comments, or perhaps you just want to tell us what country you're coming from.
I think just to add to that, I'll say to you guys, one way you can make this really interesting, just like Alice mentioned, an hour is not always enough. Even sometimes when we have 3 hours session, 2 hour session in class is not always enough. So what you could do is, how do you take the conversation forward? So for example, it could be an interesting part you've seen in the session. You can bring it up to LinkedIn. Go to the presenter's LinkedIn page. Oh, nice session earlier today. Can you talk more about this? And then let the discussion continue. You can come to the Micro MBA page or the Chester University page, and I'm sure I'll be there. Alex will be there. Gozde could be there, or any of us could be there, just to take that conversation forward. And we'll be surprised in terms of how other people can join around the world. And please, by all means, follow us on all our relevant pages and handles, and then let's just keep that friendship and keep that network.
Great stuff, Trevor. Morali's asking about the quiz of how many questions. So you mentioned that briefly earlier, Trevor. There's going to be two. There's going to be 2 quizzes. We'll determine, won't we, how many questions in due course. But do you want to build on that one, Trevor?
Yes, there are going to be 2 quizzes, and the quizzes is not going to be lots of questions, so don't worry about that. Okay, I think it's going to be about less than 15, about 15 questions, and we'll tell you what, between 15 to 20 questions. We'll tell you what the pass mark would be, for you to be able to get the certificate. But again, we're not going to be asking you questions from what you don't know. All right, so something we've already covered, something we'd expect you to know. We just want that engagement, we want that sort of participation. Okay, so don't worry too much about that, and you'll be prepared, and you have the chance, even if you don't get the quiz right the first time, you have the chance of repeating it. Okay.
And it's going to be, I think it will be valuable to mention, it's not going to be open-ended questions. It's going to be multiple.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, and all the questions are going to be based on the session. So if you join the sessions live or watch the recordings, it should be fairly straightforward for you to get through those quizzes and get the certificate. Abinemo Princess, I love that name. She's saying, hello again. I'm really brainstorming on this intro. I love it. So that's good. It seems like we've covered our basis there as well. And Morales just saying they've got that. Thanks now about the quiz question. So that's really good to know. This is an interesting one from Susmoy Evans. Rosario, the session is informative. It's Susmoy from Bangladesh. Could you please share with me, are we going to solve any real life cases during each sessions? That's a really good question. Certainly there will be a prevalence of real life cases presented, but remember, Susmoy, these are going to be quite short sessions. So, there's only so much we can cover, but what we want to do, Susmoy, is give all the time for questions with the audience, discussion with the co-authors, so we can start to unpick some of these cases. But Trevor, I wonder if you could sort of build on that, because obviously to go in more depth, obviously, if people are signing up for MBA or Masters at Chester, I wonder if you could pick up on that point from Susmoy as well.
Yes, that's a very good point, and I'm really pleased to see that. That shows that someone is really enthusiastic about looking forward to these sessions. Yes, real life cases will be made, references will be made to real life cases, and I'm sure when the presenters say that there's enough time to develop some of them in depth on these taster sessions, that will happen. Otherwise, there are other opportunities for you to be able to look at even more real life cases with us. In our programs here at the University of Chester, particularly the MBA, every subject tends to be covered with there's definitely a real life case for you to solve, and I'm sure that it depends on the author and the audience, because we do consider that's what we want to know. Our audience will determine what we deliver. Okay, so we're looking forward to that and be open, and that is why I also did suggest earlier that where you think you've not been able to cover something in depth in the session within that hour, there's the opportunity for you, because you are going to be signed up to our Moodle page, so you all have the opportunity of taking that conversation forward. So you can come back and ask questions, and there's nothing wrong with the presenter coming back to address some of those questions in depth. but don't worry. And there are going to be examples around the real life cases. And I'm sure, who knows, a real life case might have been discussed in the session, and it will be part of the quiz. The question might come around the quiz. So there are going to be different ways you could look at this.
Yeah, the question of solving is interesting, because obviously these are taster sessions. There will be live, case studies presented, and there will be opportunity for discussion. But really, I suppose the Micro MBA is really the start of this discussion, isn't it? And a start of a journey towards solving. And the end of that journey may be a dissertation, or of course we do the 2-year master's program now within our faculty. So, the ability to go and work with one of these companies and solve problems. So that's probably the end point of the journey. The Micro MBA could just be that start point, I think. Yeah. Some really good thoughts and questions there. Morales, really looking forward to getting started. Chandrika's says it sounds exciting, new paths and knowledge, at least for me. So we'll look forward to hosting Chandrika there. And Anu, as a very informative session, gives a complete understanding of what's going to be covered in the programme. And we look forward to upcoming sessions for each subject area. Anurag from IDP. We very much welcome colleagues from IDP as well. Thank you so much for joining us there as well, everybody. So just to reiterate for anybody that joined later, if you've not registered so far, you can do that on Chester AC UK /study/micro-MBA, or Google Chester Micro MBA. You will find that webpage as well. There are 8-hour one-hour sessions between October and January with our experts, live discussion QA. They are going to be live streamed and recorded sessions to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So it's not necessary to join the sessions to be on the learning platform, but we will get everybody that's registered onto that learning platform. So you have access to all those sessions through that learning management system. And then obviously Trevor mentioned that the 2 quizzes, and you'll be able to get a certificate as well. Neha has just said, it's Neha from India, really great initiative by University of Chester to launch informative sessions for bigger audiences. I look forward to being an active participant in this program. Well, welcome, Neha. We very much welcome active participants. It'd be great to have you as part of that discussion as well. And Abraham saying thank you for this opportunity. It's Abraham from India, from IDP. Welcome to Abraham and all colleagues from IDP as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jyoti as well, a great initiative, excited from IDP in India as well. So thank you very much to all colleagues that joined us. Okay, so I think that brings us to around 50 minutes. So unless the audience got any more questions, or unless my co-hosts have got anything to just, I don't know, Gozde, if you want to say any concluding words?
I would like to thank everyone for their participation today. We look forward to see you in the coming session by Kurt Alman. Excellent.
Thanks, Gozde.
All right. For me, I just want to say thank you so much for attending today and already engaging with some interesting questions already coming through. And I think the speakers will be looking forward to some of those really good questions. And also, please, if you think you've got a colleague, a place of work, a friend, a family member who's not yet registered, why not? Just tell them they still got the opportunity to register. This is only a welcome and introduction session. So they should go ahead and register, and just share the link with them. And we're looking forward to having all of them on board. And it's really exciting that we'll have people from different parts of the world. We've got people from Asia, Africa, here in the United Kingdom. So that is beautiful. So we're looking forward to a very robust class that we can call a global session. Thank you.
Fantastic. Chandrika, I think her screen is frozen, but it's all good this end. But she's asking, is it the same link for all sessions? Well, yes, it is. So if you follow those channels, either Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, you will find each of the sessions, the links on there. So just follow along with those as well. And obviously the recordings and other information will be added to the to the learning management system as well. So hi to Vidi as well from IDP, and Aniak Penos, you guys are welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful initiative from Swathi from IDP as well. So hi to Swathi. Okay, then I think unless there's anything final to add, I think that is it. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you very soon for session 2, which Gozde, I believe, was on the 8th of November.
8th of November.
Yep. So keep your eye on your email. If you will get the access to the learning management system. And in the meantime, as Trevor said, feel free to engage with us. Drop us a line through LinkedIn or through email, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. So thank you so much, everybody, and thank you to Gozde and Trevor. It's always an absolute pleasure working with you both.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Gozde.
Okay, roll end credits. See you soon.
See you.